What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. It's episode number 25. What a start for Manchester United. 7 new signings, winning our first 2 games. I've just loaned out Dan Gore, and with tons of money still remaining in the budget, we are not done for transfers yet. But before we start thinking about new signings, let's see if we can get our 3rd win to start the season off on the trot. Toughest game to start the season off though, Arsenal away in North London. As we know, struggling a bit in the recent weeks, but heading here to the Emirates, this would be a massive statement if we could win in North London and make it 3 from 3 to kick the campaign off. I'll take a draw though. Arsenal away, our first game today. We want to bring Manchester United back to the glory days, and when that's the case, we'll be aiming to win these away days. But to start this season off as Odegaard's offside, late flag, we'll take a bit of luck there. Yeah, we're not ready to target wins in away days against the bigger teams in the league. Yeah, I know we are still technically a big team as well, of course, but it's taken it in stages. Like when you're able to rebuild, when you've fallen down quite far, you don't instantly think, right, let me get the crown back straight away. It takes time. It takes a while, and you've got to take it in stages. Climb the ladder and show that patience. As Sanchez shows all the patience in the world with the ball control. But a fresh air swipe as Arsenal will clear. Looking good going forward though. 6 goals in our first 2 games. We'll definitely score today. I'm confident of that. As Trafford makes the save, it remains 0-0. Defensively though, we're getting breached too easily. I can already tell we're going to be one of the top scoring teams in the league this year. But defensively, I'm not too sure. I've got Ugarte filling in for De Ligt in this game. But I'm thinking I might need to sign yet another new centre-half alongside Murillo that we brought in the last episode, and of course the return of Aiden Heaven too. We know Lenny Euro is our long-term target, but we're not ready yet, as Murillo makes a great block there. And again, but something's going to have to change, because at the moment, it's far too easy for teams to get inside and clear-cut chances. Right on cue, Fofana, Trafford once again. Obviously Murillo's just arrived, so a full season here is going to do him some good. But I'm not sure we should keep De Ligt long term, even though I have just given him the armband. And same with Tap Sober as well. I'm still thinking we could possibly even change all of our centre halves, because I don't think we sold Kim Min-jae. Oh, Sanchez on there. There's the patience I was talking about, and that's the finish he didn't have earlier. Come on! We sold Kim Min-jae earlier this season to the Gunners, and I definitely could see us possibly cashing in on De Ligt and Tap Sober. It's a rebuild. It's a rebuild, and when you go and rebuild a team, basically everyone is in the shop window. Even some of your star players. We've sold Vlahovic. We've sold Kim Min-jae. We've sold Chevalier. No one is safe here. You've got to prove your worth. I think there's a couple of teams in the Premier League that are probably thinking, yeah, it might be time to start rebuilding in the upcoming summer window. And, you know, you probably look at Manchester United as being the main candidate for that kind of club. And, you know, to me, I think sometimes people get, you know, quite hung up on the idea of, oh, you can't sell these star players. Well, you can. You can. If they're not putting in the graft, if they're not putting in the effort, if they're not putting in the performances, most crucially as well, you know, whether that player's been at the club for a long time, whether that player has superstar reputation, if they're not cutting the mustard, it's time to get rid. You know, sometimes a clean break is the best thing possible. Oh, great save, Trafford, to restart, and the keyword rebuild. James Trafford, though, he's definitely staying as my #1 man. We might replace Chevalier, but this guy is looking the real deal. I can't believe we're still winning this game here. 24 minutes to go. Gunners looking to make sure that's not the case anymore. With Odegaard, who had the ball in the back of the net earlier, only to have it disallowed, sliding it through, and once again, give him the props. We might have 21 minutes to go, and maybe these props are a little bit over-exaggerated, but James Trafford is having an all-time kind of performance. Looking like Tim Howard in the World Cup out there, as once again Trafford makes the save. And let me give another example. Guillermo Ochoa in the World Cup. This guy has turned it on in North London. Unbeatable today, and we still somehow lead by a goal. I can't remember who the United States of America were facing in that World Cup game when Tim Howard broke the record for the most amount of saves. Was it 14 saves, I think? 14? Something like that. Whilst Trafford didn't make as many saves in this game, it wasn't that far off it. An all-time performance from the young Englishman. Made in Manchester City, now thriving with Manchester United. 3 from 3 to start the season off, 2 clean sheets in 3 games as well, and a perfect 9 points picked up from a possible 9. Well, I say we are rebuilding this season, we're already looking well built. Yeah, just looking up now, 16 saves actually against Belgium in the 2014 World Cup. So as deadline day is here, and thank goodness I've just seen that Alexander Isak has left the Premier League. Thank goodness for that. Somehow PSG will find a way to play us this season and Isak will score 4 goals against me. But deadline day is here, just shy of 200 mil. Definitely making another signing here. Yeah, look at the team here. I mean, the first 11 is class. I've got no concerns here whatsoever. But again, the issue is depth. For that game there, I had to put Ugarte in at centre-half. Wasn't quite sure about trusting Aiden Heaven, the young man there. And I mean, he didn't do a great job. Trafford had to bail me out quite a few times. So really, it's just the bench and the resis, really. So I don't think we'll make any superstar signings on deadline day, but definitely 1 or 2 more squad players. If we were to sign a new centre-half to help us out, I think Teden wouldn't be a bad shout, to be fair. I mean, he was a Manchester United Academy graduate before moving on to Luton. As we know, back-to-back relegations with the Hatters, but in the save, he's jumped ship and joined Real Valladolid. I'm not looking for a superstar centre-half to try and battle with De Ligt or Murillo or Tapsoba. I just want someone off the bench who I know will be good enough to come in and fill the gap when one of those 3 needs a breather. Aiden Heaven will get his game time, but I want someone slightly better for now, and Teden is that guy. Let's bring him back. If I remember correctly, I did sign him in one of my previous career modes this year, but hopefully you guys don't mind me re-signing him in this save, because to be fair, he is quite literally the perfect player as our 4th choice centre-half. Manchester born, academy graduate, homegrown, and knowing his role as a sporadic squad centre-half that will just fill in when one of my 3 starting centre-halves need a breather or are injured or suspended. It's coming back to Old Trafford. Welcome back, Teden Menji. Yep, 25 years old in the prime of his career. Still might grow a rating or 2, but again, I just want someone who I know, if I do need to give one of our 3 centre-halves a breather, is good enough to fill in and we won't take a major hit in terms of quality. Teden can do that role totally fine. And continuing the theme of bringing players back, well, I've got to bring this guy back, man, seriously, because you know, with the stats he's got, he is literally my kind of guy. And I don't think I've ever signed a Tunisian player before. This might be my first ever signing of a Tunisian international. And with that kind of stamina, listen, this guy could run to Tunisia and not get tired. Technically really good as well. It is, of course, Hannibal after leaving Manchester United. A couple of loan spells before settling with Burnley. Getting him promoted this season to the Premier League. There are rumours he will return and he's willing to save too. Let's bring him back. I don't think I've ever signed a player that represents Tunisia on the international stage before, but I certainly have now, and what a signing to make as well, coming in on a 3-year 54 grand a week deal. It's another player that exemplifies the kind of player we're looking for with Manchester United. Hard-working, versatile, and tons of stamina as well. So welcome back to Old Trafford, Hannibal. Yeah, buzzing with this signing here, because again, he'll know his role as a rotational player, so shouldn't complain about a lack of game time, but he'll still get given it as well. 88 stamina, balanced mentals, but also technically as well. He's got good defensive stats, but going forward, 84 ball control, 85 long pass, 82 short pass, 79 dribbling, and 76 long shots, and bad either. I'll take this. And that might well do it for signings on deadline day as well. 2 coming in as Hoffenheim want to take him Bamber. Is that a loan deal? Oh, yes, it is indeed. That's a good loan there if he goes to Germany for a year. And yeah, I'm liking the team. Again, we were worried about a lack of squad depth, but not so much now. We've brought in Teden and Hannibal as well, plus Dan Neil too. But because you got to remember, we're not playing in Europe this season, so really we should be okay with this amount of squad depth. Really, granted, if we have an injury crisis, we'll be in trouble, but it's unlikely. But yeah, I think I'm done. 9 new signings for the season. I think we're done. There's a loan offer for Tobias there from Brentford. Are we loaning everyone out? Well, actually, I don't mind this because they've got Aaron Hickey. So if they want to bring this guy in after a loan spell, we'll sign the Scottish fullback instead with a 5-star week for 2. Yeah, this actually works perfectly for me. We get a better player and someone that can play on both sides. I'll just make sure that deal goes through first, because then we can... Palace. I've just had a bid from Brighton, and now Palace want him, which doesn't make any sense to me. Like, he's clearly my number 1. He's got the jersey, guys. You can buy it in the club shop. He's not going to come and sign for you when we've got the ambition of being a Champions League team again. But that's going to be Mbamba going out on loan, and that's Tobias out on loan to Brentford as well. So with that being the case, as we'll loan Noah to Hoffenheim. We might make a new signing in the CM area. Probably don't need it now that Hannibal's coming, but definitely now that Tobias has gone to Brentford, they'll take him and we'll take Hickey from them. You know, I like to sign those players with great physicality. Well, Aaron Hickey doesn't quite have that yet, but at 25 years old, still has plenty of years to start developing that body, putting some muscle mass on, and also, crucially, getting that stamina up as well. Slight concerns there, but no concerns about going forward and coming in as our backup for Elliot Anderson on a 3-year, 60 grand a week deal. Welcome to Old Trafford, the Scottish international Aaron Hickey. Yeah, I don't think I've signed him before, but this guy, he's had an interesting kind of career path, really. He left Hearts to join Bologna out in Italy, and since returning to Brentford, he's had his injury problems. He struggled a little bit there, but he's still got promise, and again, he's still such a young man as well, so certainly not the finished article yet, but technically, his ball control, his dribbling, and his crossing and passing stats are fantastic, really good when going forward. As our backup for Anderson, it'll do totally fine. And as we'll leave 137 mil in the budget, that'll do me 11 signings for the season, I think in total, or 10 maybe. You see the top deals on deadline day were Sesko to Arsenal for 114.9 mil. Wow, that is, okay, that's just thrown me there. Okay, well, you see why. Kubasi's gone to Bournemouth from Man City for £90.4 million. And as we said earlier, thank goodness I'm seeing that transfer there. Alexander Isak leaves to PSG for £84 million. So he won't be facing me in the following game. So I feel confident we should be able to keep a clean sheet here against the Magpies. I mean, if we do, it'll be 3 in our first 4 games. And if we can win it as well, a perfect 4 from 4. What a start we'll have to the season with the Red Devils. Aim to stay 100% our following game. First one outside the window, Newcastle coming to Old Trafford. That's a cracking turn, and Magpies, oh no, they are going to go in front. Woodwork saved me, rebound didn't, and Anthony Gordon fires Newcastle in front. Well, I said we'd probably keep a clean sheet in this game with no Alexander Isak. Maybe it's not Isak that's the problem, it's just Newcastle in general. Is it just me, by the way, or are Newcastle one of the most unpredictable teams in the Premier League in career mode? Like, you know, one season they might be struggling, you know, to break into the top 10, and in other seasons, like in this save, in the second season, they were going for the title and they were unbeaten through their first 28, 29 games. You don't know what kind of season they're going to have, really, but against me, they always seem to score. And even without Isak, they've done that again here as Jadon Sancho hezzies his man, takes his time, gets away, brilliant dribbling, shot straight at Soria. 32 minutes to find a leveller. Sober comes away with the ball, offloads. There is Angel Gomez. Sanchez sent forward. Our best 2 players to start the season off, linking up, and there's Kubo. Should get his first goal of the season and does. Brilliant finish, but pick the ball up. 26 minutes to go. I don't just want to draw here. I want to make it 4 wins from 4. No, couldn't find a winner in the end, but to be fair, whilst my standards remain incredibly high and I do feel like it's 2 points dropped, came from behind to claim that 1 point, and you know, first 4 games, 10 points taken from 12, no losses. Considering the season Manchester United had last year, I don't think the fans are going to be too unhappy with that result against what will be a top 4 rival. Right, let's jump out of that game into the next one, try and squeeze 2 more in following contest, back away from home. Just had back-to-back away day victories start the season off, including our last one in North London. We're back there once again. Spurs away, our following game as we aim to return to winning ways. Free kick right on the edge, 22 minutes in. You know, I've said this before, I am genuinely getting better at free kicks, and I know my ratio is still incredibly bad, but I am starting to feel more confident now in and around these areas. Oh, the left foot here, and try and bend that one in to that near post. The curve there, I think that might be perfect. Just got to get it up over the wall. Oh, and Vicario just about got enough. Slightly more power, and that's it. It was online, just not powerful enough. That's what I mean. Like back in the day, I wouldn't have even beaten the wall, you know. Or if I did, it would have gone over the bar. Or if it did go over the wall and under the bar, it would have been caught by the goalkeeper. But now, I'm forcing keepers into making brilliant saves at full stretch if they are going to stop it. Otherwise, I might hit the frame or find the back of the net. Very close to doing so there. Still tied at 0-0. But it's all Manchester United in the early running. Ugarte shot blocked and turned behind for a corner. We talked about consistency earlier, and if we want to be a Champions League team, well, I said it, you need to be consistently brilliant. You can't just win one here and there. You've got to win consistently. When you have had a slip up, you've got to get back to winning ways instantly as Murillo fires off target. Yeah, progress is progress regardless of how you look at it, and ultimately, very few people go from being really bad at something to really good at something instantly with very little practice. I'm getting better, but what I'm not getting better at is defending. Back-to-back games without a clean sheet, and it is going to be our first loss of the season coming in North London. No wins in our last 2, 1 point taken for a possible 6. Yeah, it was an amazing start, winning our first 3, brought back down to earth and reminded, this is a rebuild. We're not going to go from being 7th to Premier League champions in the following season, or at least I don't think so. It's going to be 2, it's going to be 2, it's going to be 2, and it is bundling through, too easy. Far, far, far too easy, and Karim Adeyemi puts the icing on the cake. Well, as we know, this season, the 2 most disappointing teams in the Premier League have been these 2 here, whilst they'll meet in the Europa League final. Both teams know they probably need to win that in order to save what has been a chaotic season. And in this season of the save, it's Spurs who come out on top in the first of at least 2 meetings in the campaign. Right, we're not ending on that. We're doing one more and hopefully returning to winning ways in this, but it's not in the Premier League. It's our first cut game with the Red Devils. Everton in the League Cup, and whilst it is our lowest priority out of the 3 competitions, I would like to win a trophy in my first season, and this is probably our best shot at doing so as well. Everton, the Carabao Cup, and we'll end on this. Yeah, again, the lack of squad depth really is going to hurt our chances of winning a cup this season, because as we know, especially in the Carabao Cup, which are all midweek games until the final, you got to rotate your lineup, and as Ezekiel Zeballos makes it 1-0, our backup team just isn't that good, especially when you're relying on some of those fringe resis as well. It's the ex-Boca man who makes it 1-0. And 8 minutes in, yeah, we've been brought back down to earth. Amazing start to the season, but I'm not surprised it didn't last too long. I know the board have asked us to win the FA Cup this year, and I'll certainly do my best in that competition when it comes round. I'll certainly pick stronger lineups than this one in that competition, but my sole priority is getting us back in the Champions League. I've talked about this dilemma before, you know, would you rather win an FA Cup or play in the Champions League the following season if you could only do one? I think it kind of depends on what club you're asking and what kind of fan you're asking too, but for a club like Manchester United, we'll put it this way, man, I mean, they won the FA Cup last season. Oh, as Hannibal is denied and a rebound is turned in, but you know how much it would mean to them to get back in the big time. Dan Neil's first for the Red Devils, Manchester United equalise. Yeah, there's no right or wrong answer to this, it is totally subjective. Would you rather be in next season's Champions League or win a major honour if you could only do one? Well, put it this way, Forest fans had that dilemma this season, getting to the FA Cup semi-final and still chasing a top 5 place. But for Manchester United, we'll have chances to win silverware. Oh, come on! Throughout our tenure here, what we can't afford to do is have no Champions League football at Old Trafford once again. If we want to sign the biggest names, we've got to be in the biggest competition. But Hannibal ensures we might be able to do both. Yep, you know me, I never like to end on a loss, and thankfully our new signing, or re-signing I should say, ensures that will not be the case. Coming from behind to get the win and through to the following round of the Carabao Cup. Yeah, I'll say it again, my sole aim is getting us into next season's Champions League. If we can win a domestic honour on the way as well, I certainly wouldn't call that a bad first season. But that'll do it for today's episode of the Realistic Kuruma, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. I'll return in the next one with the last 16 of the Carabao Cup and more games in the Premier League, aiming to get back to winning ways in that competition too very soon.